Thank you, Alejandro. Well, I'm here with a man that needs absolutely no introduction, the 13th world champion, Garry Kasparov. Garry, first of all, welcome back to Bucharest. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
What are your first impressions of the tournament, the organization? And we first saw you at the opening ceremony. Tell us a bit about that.
It's so spectacular. I think that chess now is back to where it belongs. When I played world championship matches, it's the level of respect and admiration that the game has been lacking for a long time. I mean, we know that's about St. Louis and the standards that have been introduced by Grand Chess Tour in its place of origin. But having the opening of the Grand Chess Tour of Bucharest in the Ceausescu Palace, the biggest building in Europe and the second one in the world after Pentagon, it's not just luxury. It's not just prestige. It's just now it's for me it was a symbol of returning chess.
It almost feels like history.
Exactly, to the mainstream. And obviously, the recent tragic events in Ukraine just elevated, more interest. And there were many journalists, obviously, they wanted to hear my opinion about the tragedy in Ukraine. But again, it's all added to the tournament, to the publicity of the tournament. And by the way, I'm very happy now. I can just, I can have the first glance at the games because it's. I'm engaged in never-ending interviews about Russia, Ukraine, the war, and the response of the free world, and it goes on and on, with probably every major Ukrainian TV, radio station, and a newspaper. And now it's kind of a relief. Now I can look at the chessboard and talk about the games that played by the rules.
We'll definitely take a look at the games in just a second, but I do want to ask you also played a simul with the kids at the Parliament.
I made 3 moves. So.
How important is that for the kids to get that feeling of playing with the best chess players in history?
No, look, it's always about happiness and comfort of the players who are taking part in the simuls. It's not for us to enjoy it, for professionals, but it's an opportunity to test yourself against the best in the world, but also to get them just a moment of glory, because you can make a picture, you can shake hands, and I did first three rounds, shook hands. I know it's a bit now risky these days, but still, it's as if you won an exhibition, so forget about COVID. So you have to be engaged. And it's also, I think, it's being appreciated. And also, I have to say that it's not a simul played in a cafe or in a city square. It was the whole of Ceausescu Palace. It's like size of a football field, if not more. And being there, it's added to the prestige of the game. And I think all the players, there were kids there, and some of the very famous Romanian athletes also among them. So they all, felt that they were part of history.
A lot of this is due to the fact that the Superbet Foundation has been getting involved into the Grand Chess Tour big way. Tell us a bit about that, and what was the impact of this change?
Look, the engagement was a result of my trip to Bucharest. In 2017, I was invited to do a presentation for one of the Romanian magazines, and one of the sponsors of the event was Sasha Dragic, the former Serbian chess player who stopped playing chess, according to Sasha, because he looked at Garry Kasparov, decided he couldn't be as successful, and moved into business. And now he's giving back to chess, to his beloved game. And we talked about a possible cooperation, so they invited me next year to Bucharest to do an event with Superbet. Superbet was just rising as a big force in Romanian business, and actually European business. And then year after that, on 2019, there was the first Superbet event, Rapid and Blitz. But I could already sense there was the appetite to do more. And it's not just now the classic tournament in Bucharest. Superbet is involved and being a major sponsor in all 3 Eastern European tournaments, in Zagreb and in Warsaw. So now we say that Grand Chess Tour is balanced because we have St. Louis, our chess capital, in the United States, and now we have a company that's fast-growing company that is willing to extend its participation in all sorts of chess projects, from professional to educational. I met here the Minister of Education of Romania, and they're very impressed by Superbet's willingness to invest heavily in promoting chess in Romanian classrooms. So between St. Louis and Superbet, I think Grand Chess Tour has a safe future, and it's not surprising that FIDE, after so many years of hesitations and waffling, decided to make Grand Chess Tour part of the qualification system. So it's now it's solid, and it has standards that yet remain dreams for other chess events, including FIDE official competitions.
Absolutely, and I know that we will have you in future days as well to talk a bit more about that, but we do have some incredible games today. One especially is this clash between Alireza against Jan Nepomniachtchi. What is your first take when you see this position on the board?
No, we had a quick look, just about the game that started, with this very slow opening. But I think it's a demonstration that even if you play, the bishop opening, e4, e5, bishop c4, it's about the mood of the players, whether they want to play tough chess, and it seems that they do. I was surprised to find out that many of the moves that okay, it's just
all the way
all the way to here. Yeah, so that's this first. It's they played very fast. So that means that it was opening theory. But then Alireza played h3 and g3, g4 looked odd to me, and I think Nepomniachtchi missed a couple of really good opportunities. So definitely this is the move that I didn't like is bishop f4 here. So I would definitely put my knight on f4. And also I think it was earlier it wasn't
even
knight,
earlier.
but also here with bishop d5, here knight f4 also. Knight f4, and you cannot take on e4 as we discussed because bishop d5 and everything is
and
correct.
this is the first move that you mentioned when you saw this.
The knight, that's maybe goes from my just matches Karpov. You want a knight on this. And again bishop f4. I think that's the Alireza did well. I'm not sure. Queen h4.
It seems like he's losing some speed, right?
Yeah.
Black, that is allowing white to castle.
And also, I'm not. Maybe again, maybe bishop takes h3 was the only option. Yeah, but it's difficult to give. But
you just played bishop f4. You want to keep that bishop.
Exactly. But after this queen at d1, looks to me that white is, I wouldn't say winning, but it's just definitely much better. Queen h6, simply play queen e2, then long castle. I don't see any real compensation. So
Garry,
but still, it will be a lot of fight. The game is far from being over.
Absolutely. The last time we talked was in Paris a year ago. Alireza was 2750, a huge prospect, but he hasn't confirmed yet at the top level. Now he just exploded, 2803, but he hasn't played in 5 months, and he's ready to play in his first candidates. How would you assess Alireza as a player, as well as his strategy, maybe not to play for 5 months before the candidates?
Look, definitely I'm the last person to criticize his decision because as a beginning disciple, so I always wanted serious preparation, and considering the fact that that's the he might be the real contender for being an ex-challenger in the World Championship match. He wanted to spend more time preparing. We'll see. We'll see how he does here in this tournament.
Knight f5 was just played.
Okay,
what do we think of this move?
Still, again, it's just he wants to push the queen and then just But after queen h7, I'm not so sure that he has anything better than to go back.
And now, given that he has, after knight to f5, 15 minutes against 19 minutes, do you think he's going to repeat if we see this on the board?
I don't know. I'm curious. Look, don't forget, but they will play in Madrid.
Exactly.
So that's, exactly. We have four. What makes this tournament even more intriguing? We have 4 players that will go to Madrid. So it's Alireza, Jan, Laporte,
and Fabiano.
And Fabiano. So that's why every game between them, it's somehow it's rehearsal. So yesterday we saw quite uneventful game between Fabi and Alireza. So I think Fabi had an advantage, but he didn't manage to actually get something, a real out of this advantage.
But one interesting fact about yesterday, they repeated the position 4 times. None of them wanted to claim the draw.
Maybe it's psychological.
Psychological.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's they are trying to position themselves, for Madrid. Again,
as the alpha.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing this as Did he play?
He played knight to f5, and
wow.
that's it. No. Knight to f5, and right now Nepo is still thinking, pondering his options.
But he has no real options. This is you cannot queen g5, queen g4.
So I guess this is the big problem.
Yeah, and then queen f6, and then you go back.
Yeah.
So it's
this gives white a clear advantage.
Yeah.
Now, another crazy game is this one between Mamedyarov and Richie Rapport. Now the position has calmed down.
Calm down? You call calm down?
This is calm down compared to what we had.
Yeah, exactly. This is you call calm down. Yeah, I'm curious, So this is what do you do? Go. I see this computer offers bishop takes h3.
Bishop takes h3.
And bishop d4 is. Yeah.
Bishop. Yes.
Yeah.
And the idea is to go.
But that's the rook g1. Rook g1. Okay, but there's 2 rooks,
That should be equal.
But again, I just think what's happening here. So and then there's this rook f3.
Queen
h4 check.
And now bishop f6 only move.
Only move, yes, but maybe it's
Seems like some sort of a variation.
Yeah, but this is because you just
c4 and then you double up. Yeah. And rook takes and then double up.
Yeah, double up. You could have taken here probably. This is on you can take here, but then just
then you checkmate. It seems like
wow.
What a move.
Nice. No, because bishop e7, it's the threat queen d5, bishop d6 check.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So this is how much time left? So
19 minutes for Richie and 12 minutes for Mamedyarov. It's not the only move. It seems like just going backwards
d7,
also equalizes. Now you have to go king c8. Let's see if he sees bishop h3. Big moment right now for Richie.
I bet he will.
You think he will?
I think he'll play bishop takes h3. So it's okay, that's...
this is another extremely intriguing player, Richie Rapport. What is your assessment of him? He plays non-stop. He says, I don't have any support. I'm just going to continue playing and do my best at the candidates.
Look, he will... That's a problematic attitude. Because you don't want to go to candidates and to do your best.
Right.
You go there to win.
Right.
Or, just... Otherwise you can have fun, but, it's... I'm sure that... Alirez's attitude, or Fabi, or even Jan, they have a very different idea. Or Jan Christoph Duda, so who, by the way, refused to even to play in Grand Chess Tour, just because exactly more time to prepare. So again, as someone who just learned from Botvinnik, I appreciate this attitude. So it's a risky one, but it may work.
You like to take time for a preparation.
Yeah, this is especially these days, when you can do a lot of exercise playing, just online. But we can definitely see the different approach from Magnus. So I think it's very it's quite unique strategy for each player because it's very individual. Yes, something that works for me didn't work for Karpov or other way around. So that you have to understand, this what does work for you, and we'll see whether Alireza and Jan Christoph, they made the right calls.
Knowing yourself is definitely a huge superpower. Now, what about this game, the All-American Clash? How do we see this one developing?
I don't know. It's just it looks to me that it's even. Yeah, probably is to just start doubling on d file, but he just I don't know. It's
bit of pressure for white, but not much.
A little bit pressure, but I doubt that it's anything serious. So maybe you should. I don't know. Just like. Rook f1, rook d1, then somehow play f4. At one point you probably have to play f4 if you want to achieve anything, but I'm very skeptical about any real
chances for this one.
I would say it's probably a draw.
Gary,
and we have.
we do have this last game, the one in which actually his last move, this move knight to e2 was made with 2 seconds on the clock.
Yes,
and he has two more moves.
But it's amazing. You see, this is we look at this position. It's just why. Yeah, Levon had to take here and play rook b2. That was a much better chance.
Yes.
Much better chance.
Just take on d1,
rook b2,
b2.
and after rook d3, there's e5. Yes.
e5.
Yeah, that's very strange that Levon missed this chance.
And Levon at this point had 53 minutes on the clock.
He the rook c5, and he kept more pieces. But but you see, this is h4 now. He just actually after e5 he could take on e5 because the pawn is no longer here, and everything is now protected.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see, this is Yeah, that's amazing.
Now you stabilize
exactly.
the structure.
Absolutely, he stabilized rook h2. What he played? Rook h2.
Rook h2 and knight e2, and
now knight goes on f4.
or maybe the advantage has slipped away from
absolutely, yes,
from Aronian in this
exactly,
one.
Exactly. Very strange again. But sometimes you look at the opponent's clock instead of looking at the position.
And I think this is exactly what he did. He played that move rook to c5 with only 2 minutes he spent on that. Gary, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next few days.
I go back to the main stage, talking about geopolitics, which is again, it's not ruled by people who respect the rules.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Gary.